Ah, laddies and lasses, gather round and let me tell you a tale of the time when a bard by the name of Dandelion stumbled into me tavern. He's got the character with a voice like a lark and a fashion sense that would make a peacock blush. But it wasn't just his looks that drew the attention of me patrons. Nay, it was his stories, wild and absurd as they were, that had them entranced. From fighting giant spiders to wooing sorceresses, the Dandelion had seen it all, and he regaled us with his tales late into the night. And as I poured another round of ale for the enchanted crowd, I couldn't help but think, what kind of bard goes by the name of a pesky weed? But that's a question for another time, my friends. Right now, let's raise a glass to the one and only Dandelion, and the madness he brought to our little corner of the world. But first, a few messages from the establishment.
If you want to support us, please give us a like, share, and perhaps subscribe to our channel to help make us grow and bring you more stories like this. Here are the links below.
Now, with all of that said and done, let's continue on with one of the stories the bard is telling while I was pouring drinks that night. It was something about a bunny rabbit and its magical properties that helped the Witcher in his adventures. And it sounded something like this. So there was this witcher called Geralt of Rivia, who was known for his silver hair and grumpy demeanor. He was hired by a village to get rid of a group of monsters that were terrorizing the locals. Geralt being Geralt, he accepted the job and set off to track down the monsters. I mean, what else would he do? That's his job description. Anyway, after a few days of tracking, Geralt finally found the monsters and engaged them in battle. The fight was intense, with Geralt using his silver sword to take down the monsters one by one. But just when he thought he had won, he heard a strange noise coming from the bushes. Thinking it was another monster, Geralt quickly drew his sword, only to find a little bunny rabbit staring back at him. Now Geralt, being a seasoned witcher, knew that rabbits were harmless, but this particular bunny looked different. It had a mischievous glint in its eye, as if it was up to no good. Ignoring his better judgment, Geralt decided to follow the rabbit into the nearby forest. After a while, he found himself in a clearing, where he saw a group of bandits robbing a group of merchants. Without hesitation, Geralt charged into battle, taking down the bandits with ease. As he was collecting his reward from the grateful merchants, Geralt noticed the same bunny rabbit watching him from a distance. He walked over to the rabbit and asked, "What are you doing here?" The rabbit just stared back at him, and with a wink of its eye, it hopped away into the forest. From that day on, Geralt knew that rabbits were not to be trusted, especially ones with a mischievous glint in their eye. As he was making his way back to the village to get more monster hunting bounties, he couldn't shake off the memory of the bunny rabbit. He wondered if it was just a coincidence, or if the rabbit had led him to the bandits on purpose. The next day, as Geralt was sitting at a tavern, nursing a mug of ale, he heard a commotion outside. He stepped out to investigate, and saw a group of bandits, again, attacking a group of travelers. And as always, again, without hesitation, Geralt drew his sword and charged into battle. After defeating the bandits, Geralt noticed the same bunny rabbit watching him from a distance. This time, he decided to follow the rabbit again to see where it was leading him.
Oh shit, here we go again.
The rabbit led Geralt into a nearby cave where he found a group of thieves hiding their loot. Geralt took down the thieves and returned the stolen goods to their rightful owners. As he was leaving the cave, Geralt turned to the bunny rabbit and said, "I don't know how you keep leading me to these bandits, but I owe you one. Gives me something to do." As Geralt continued his travels, he encountered many more dangerous situations, but he always kept an eye out for that mischievous bunny rabbit. And sure enough, every time the bunny rabbit appeared, it led Geralt to a group of bandits or thieves that he was able to defeat and bring to justice. Plus, of course, the fat coin purses from dealing with these bandits doesn't hurt. Eventually, Geralt realized that the bunny rabbit was not just a mere coincidence, but rather a powerful ally that had taken a liking to him. From that day on, whenever Geralt needed help, or is short on cash, he would call out to the bunny rabbit, and it would always come to his aid. And so the legend of Geralt and the mischievous bunny rabbit spread far and wide in the country. Many other witchers and adventurers tried to catch the elusive rabbit, but it always managed to outsmart them and disappear into the forest. But Geralt knew that he had a special bond with the bunny rabbit, and he cherished the times when they will team up to fight evil and bring justice to the land. And so, the unlikely duo continued their adventures, with Geralt keeping an eye out always for his furry little ally. And so, my dear friends, the night wore on. The tales of Dandelion continued to weave their magic in our minds. Some folks even claimed they saw a hint of magic in the air, but I think it was just the ale going to their heads. Or whether it was the ale of the bard stories, there's no denying that it was a night to remember. And as the last of your patrons stumbled out of the door singing drunkenly and laughing heartily, I couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction knowing that my little tavern had provided a haven for such merriment. So, if ever you find yourself wandering through these parts, do stop by and share a tale or two with us. Who knows, maybe one day we'll have another bard as entertaining as Dandelion himself to grace our humble establishment. Slendava, my friends. Alright, I'm done here, bard. Now it's your turn to tell the stories next night, okay? Now shut up and play your lute. Bloody bastards, still making me a story, or just bringing in bottles and putting drinks. Well,